Okay. Good evening, everyone. If you will not answer, we'll start again. So we are greeting everybody that's watching us on YouTube, Facebook. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you all. We are ready to go. We are ready to go and start another day. Today, I'm going to be talking on how to build a new Africa, a new Nigeria. I wanted to talk about how to build a new Africa using scientific method. But I'm going to do that tomorrow. Because I want your mind to be fresh. Ghana, tomorrow, building a new Africa through the scientific method. But that will be tomorrow. But today, I will be talking about building a new Africa, a new Nigeria, through teaching people to think like a genius. If we could teach the youth of Africa how geniuses think and how to think like a genius, we could build a new future. But before then, there is a video I saw during the break, while I was having the break now, today, that I think I've got to comment on that video a little bit. Just a little bit. I've got to see that video.
Just yesterday,
Grumsh.
11 villages overrun in Plateau with 200 minimum dead. 6 villages in Benue with 169 dead. It's a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble us. These are troublers of the church. The Fulani herdsmen, the Boko Haram, and the authorities backing them. Join me to invoke curses on the killers, the sponsors of the killers, the ones hiding the killers. Help me to decree the curse of the Lord upon them. God is angry with the wicked every day. Help me to declare and decree the curse of the Lord upon the camp of the killers and their sponsors and their backers in the name of Jesus. Decree the curse of the Lord upon any authority that may be backing them. Decree that curse today. Decree that curse today. Join me and decree that curse today. These killers must die. They that kill by the sword must die by the sword. In the name of Jesus. Decree the curse of the Lord upon them. Decree the curse of the Lord upon them. In Jesus' precious name we are praying.
What about Jesus says you should love your enemies? For them, as far as he is concerned, once it causes something, it dries up, it dies. They die, yeah. They go ahead.
They are all Christian communities. It's an Islamization agenda. Nigerian Christian Leaders Forum cried out in a press conference just 2 days ago. May every supporter of these killers go down. Now listen, if we don't stop them, religious war will break out. It is the most devastating of all wars. I've studied the wars across the world. The most devastating that has no end and no battlefront is religious war. That is the agenda of these wicked people. Except God does not send me. Judgment must answer before the month.
Stop. Before? Except God has not. So it's not God. If in 1 month's time, did he say one before the let God, Nazar, shush, Nazar.
It's over. Devastating that has no end and no battlefront. It's religious war. That is the agenda of these wicked people. Except God has not sent me. Judgment must answer before the month is over.
So it's this month. It's not 1 month though. Hold you. That's why I don't. No, it's this month. No, this is this one. This is that. This was yesterday. This was yesterday. Yeah. No.
It's been a month. He said it before. Yeah. It's not recent. This video is not recent.
No, this is recent. But it's the same thing.
He said the same thing sometimes.
See, one thing you should know is that Bishop.
Let this month end first.
Yeah.
At least this is the month we came across.
No, the way he talks, right, you might mistake that it is something he has said because he says things in a certain
Often.
way often. So he might be saying exactly what he has said before, but it might be a different.
No, but this one we are hearing this month. And how many days remain?
No, because I saw the fresh article. Even they've been sending to my WhatsApp that he just decreed another course.
So let's
it's a
even
new.
assume it is yesterday. Yeah. But when is the month ending? In 3 days, by Monday?
In few days.
Tuesday?
Monday.
Sunday. So by Monday, if this man is still, if this thing is not apprehended, if
I'll be going to London, that for headquarters. And go and tell their members.
we have to write some articles. Nazar is sure. The guy has shot himself in the belly. Oh. This will not be for leg. Before the month is over, this same month.
This month is over.
What you? I thought he will give himself at least 1 month so that people will forget. So that people will forget. Nobody will remember. Life continues. Let me hear that repeated a little bit.
Across the world. The most devastating that has no end and no battlefront. It's religious war. That is the agenda of these wicked people. Except God has not sent me. Judgment must answer before the month is over.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Before this month is over. So if judgment doesn't answer, if that cause doesn't happen, or the judgment doesn't happen before the month is over, it means God has not sent it. Not be me say Then he's not called. So it's not God who called him. Now him call himself. So what should we do? Should we go and take placard or?
Now you call yourself.
Yeah, or we should write
You yourself
article.
declare the proof.
Okay, Nazad. Or we should go to close the church. Okay, that's why insurance.
That's what we break out. It is the most devastating of all wars. I've studied the wars across the world. The most devastating that has no end and no battlefront. It's religious war. That is the agenda of these wicked people. Except God has not sent me. Judgment must answer before the month is over.
What do you say? What do you say? Judgment must answer
In the camp.
before
The month is over.
before the month is over.
It's like 1,000 years.
This man is bold though. He knows that nobody questions anything. But we are going to take him to book with this one. Though. Before the month is over, all the ex-men and their sponsors, everybody will just begin to die. In that Nigeria. Because he said the ones that sponsor them and the ones that support them, hiding them, all of them will die. So how many of them will die like that? And then she is saying the same thing. So all of them are not called then. Do you still want to listen to? I think it's finished. That's the only thing we should listen to. Yeah, I don't think we need to waste our time on this one. Now, this is what these people want me to be saying, you know. They are writing me every day. Where is your own? Oyedepo has been speaking. Is he speaking? Okay. People are already saying that I should. Why am I not talking? Why am I not? But they don't know that. Is this the way to resolve issue? No. There are ways to resolve issues, and you will hear soon my own way of resolving issues. Not like this. Okay, so let's go back. The white is it Russian? You are speaking so loud, I'm catching Russian language from your mouth. I'm almost speaking Russian language because it's coming to my mouth from a mouth. Let's see another video, Joe. Let's see another video. This one is my own answer. This is my article. Somebody went and put his voice on my article. But it's my article, and let's see this one about how to resolve our problems. And this will lead me to the message.
A new way of life. Our pulpits must stop talking about miracles and breakthroughs.
Stop.
Because the message
Stop. International Zanoa. This is called Towards a New Nigeria. Towards a New Nigeria. It's an article I wrote, but this voice is not my voice, you could say. It's a typical Nigerian voice. But for Nigerians, this is very exciting. But for you foreigners, you need to listen very carefully. Because what this guy is doing is like an actor, but he's speaking with a typical Igbo accent. But for us, it's entertaining. It makes us laugh and relax as we are listening. But if you are not used to that accent, you need to listen properly. Okay, let's go now.
Towards building a new Nigeria, a new Christianity, a new way of life. Our pulpits must stop talking about miracles and breakthroughs, because the message our youth are hearing is that through miracles and breakthroughs, you can get something out of nothing. You can never get something out of nothing. What they are hearing is that it is possible to reap where you have not sown. The national cycle of Nigerians today is more like, if it is good for me now, it doesn't matter what happens later. If truth be told, our churches have largely contributed to this. Our messages of instant gratification have led to a whole generation of people who only want to see instant results, immediate relief, and a painless profit. This is not the natural course of nature. My brother, our youth to change, our messages must also change. For our nation to change, our pulpit must also change. We must begin to deliver relevant homilies, messages which are capable of building a healthy nation and future. Instead of messages that are only promising blessings, miracles, breakthroughs, and wonders, we must replace these messages with preaching on virtues such as hard work, creativity, dedication, commitment, perseverance, diligence, responsibility, etc. We must stop glorifying people who became wealthy from unexplainable sources. The brother who became a millionaire because he simply sowed seed, either to the pastor or to the church, should no longer be those who are testifying in our churches. We should be giving the microphone to the hard workers who have, through a lifetime of perseverance, suffering, diligence, dignity of labor, attained through success. Until we do this, our churches and nation will keep on celebrating symbols of instant successes like Yahoo boys, the scanners, 419ers, bank thieves, MMMs. Unfortunately, as of today, these are the only type of success stories our messages are capable of producing. If we are to produce quality youth and future leaders, we must begin to invite to our pulpits people who attain their success and wealth through biblical principles of hard work, faithfulness, and diligence. We have to downplay the roles of sowing and reaping for prosperity. We must change the gospel of prosperity. We have to introduce the gospel of suffering. If you don't suffer, you will not succeed. It is time to begin to emphasize principles of wealth creation and production of goods and services. Instead of teaching in our churches every Sunday, give and it shall be given to you, our message must change to teaching principles like planning, critical thinking, analysis, strategy, visibility plans, system building, market and customer analysis, process of production of goods and services. This is how noble people are produced, not by what is being propagated by our pulpits today. With the message we have today in our churches and society at large, it is no wonder that these young people now act as if God is the rewarder of laziness and mediocrity. Please, I want to use this avenue to appeal to my fellow pastors and priests. Let us stop preaching the pseudo gospel and begin to preach the real gospel of the kingdom. Our youth must know that Christianity is not magic. We must tell them the whole truth, that because somebody is making pronunciation doesn't mean that those pronunciations are godly. We must let them know that they don't need a pastor's blessing to make it in life. We must let our young people know that the shout of "I receive it" alone is not enough to be blessed for that week. We must open their eyes, open their ears to realize the shout of amen, no matter how loud, doesn't make God to fill all their wishes. Our nation needs to be delivered from religious positions, and our real Christianity must produce a fresh youth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think, what was it, to Victor? Do you know how to put voice like this? You know, those computer voices, those American voices, male and female. Maybe we could also do those computer voices, not just Nigerian voice, upon this particular message. You know the article, eh? Just write "Towards a New Nigeria" by Sunday Adelaja, and you will see. Huh? Yeah, you will. No, not right now. And put but I think the pictures are good, but just another voiceover, maybe male voiceover. Okay, so, but the topic of today is I'm going to be talking about thinking like a genius. How thinking like a genius can help resolve Africa's problems. How thinking like a genius can help resolve Africa's problems. How thinking like a genius can help resolve Africa's problems. Africa's problems, yeah. How thinking like a genius can help resolve Africa's problems. How thinking like a genius can help resolve Africa's very good, yeah, problems. Good. Okay, very good. So that's the topic for today. How thinking like a genius can help resolve Africa's problem. That's the message of today. Before we continue, let me start with my own story. Because what will I call this? Will I call this illiteracy? By the way, I want to appeal to everybody that is watching us to go and share this message. Please go share the message. Share, share, share. Go share the message with your friends. Share to your friends' inboxes. Share to your timeline, to groups that you have on Facebook, YouTube. The reason I'm talking about this is that I want to start this message with my own personal testimony. And my personal testimony is that when I was growing up, I happened to grow up in a country or in a family where we had some accomplished senior brothers. My cousins, my uncles, my brothers, they studied very well. They did well. But when I was growing up, I happened to be very dull. At least that is the report I was given by the school system and the people around me. Because I was studying at a very difficult time when we had lost to death some prominent members of our family, and things were so difficult. So my grandmother was taking me to the bush, to the forest, to fetch for firewood, and no money to buy books and things like that. But even besides that, the method of education in my country is more like one method, one straightforward way. Everybody is learning the same way. I remember the way I started to learn at 6 years old. They had some books with photographs, and so they would say, this is Pawpaw, Papa. And before then, we had done ABC, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. That's why I was good in it. I could sing the song. I got it with everybody. Everybody could get A, B, C, D. But when it comes to reading, that's when they confuse me. Because, let's say Papa, for example, they will write P-A-P-A and say Papa. Oh, for me, that is good. P-A, Papa. Good. But then they will get to a place and say house. House. So, which is H-O-U-S-E. But when we are reading A, B, C, D, they told me that H means H. So how can this be house? There is no R there. There is no R there. There is no, but this is H. How can you say house? So I disagreed in my heart. What they are saying is house. I said, it cannot be house because it's H. So that is how my trouble started. Because they told me something and they announced I should call it something else. So that is the way all my mess, and almost everything, 90% of what I have to read is different. It's different from what they had taught me. So for me, it has to. So to cut a long story short, for the next 10 years, till I was 10 years old, I couldn't read. Till I was in Form 4, till 10 years old, I couldn't read. It just became a block because they will be beating you. Pronounce. I say, I can't. It's not unpronounceable. How can you say ash, and it's unpronounceable? So I will just be, I can't. It's house, view. Because other people, with other students, they say, but you see your friend, he pronounced. Because that one just remembers what he was told, what they said, and he just said it after them. But I don't like that. I want to use my own brain to come to that conclusion, not just repeat what you said. But you have taught me the rules. You told me this is the rule. And you yourself, you are not applying the rule. You are going against something. Let me follow the rules. But I'm trying to follow the rule. You are beating me that I'm dull. So I just agreed that, okay, it means it's not my own destiny. So I'm one of the dull ones. Then the other ones, they are calling them another word. They are saying this is brilliant. This is dull. Is the word brilliant. So from all my life, I've been hearing those two words. Brilliant, dull. Brilliant, dull. I don't know if it's all over Nigeria, but in my own area, they will always call out some students in the class and tell us that they are brilliant. Have you heard the word before? It's a popular thing. It has become like a, what do you call it? Huh? Climo. What is it called? Stigma. It has become a stigma. They stigmatized me that I was dull. And they stigmatize those ones that they are the ones who are brilliant. But to them, everybody is related to them well. And they are becoming heroes. But to people like us, we became the dung of this class. So all throughout my school years in primary school, I just came to agree with them. That I thought, what I was thinking in my own head is that they were born like that. Brilliant. While I was born dull. With my own little child's mind, that is the interpretation. And it was not just me. All of us who are dull, we just knew that it is not our own way. The ones that were brilliant, they were feeling good. They are the ones who are born like that. We are not born. So this is when, during this teaching, what I want us to learn is that there is nothing like brilliant. Every child is brilliant. Instead of them to find a way, it is now, it took all my life till I was 40-something years old. I didn't know how to interpret all that happened to me in my childhood. So even when I started eventually learn to read, because I was going to be repeating every time. So I just said, okay, what do you want? You want me to be repeating? I'll be repeating now. So that was when I was 10 years old. So 10 years old, I began to repeat. And then I learned to read that way. So because I was now using their own method. But it was only when I was 40-something years old that it came to my mind that, they could have found out in the way. I just discovered that there are different methods of learning. My own learning is through logic. If you say A, B, so when you are writing A, okay, for example, even that Papa, I couldn't say Papa because Papa, I could say it in Yoruba because they say that was something. So I could say that one in Yoruba. But in English, how could you say father? It's not now. You say it is A when you told me to read it. Father, that's what they told me. They said it was A. But father, but how is coming out of it? It was supposed to be a fade. So I was all in a mess. And how can you say father? Where is the R? You told me that was supposed to be R. I can't hear the R. And I can't hear the H. And I even cannot hear the T. You said it was T. So I was all confused. I was all a mess. So, but, it was, I follow logical conclusions. But I managed to finish primary school because I learned to read, because I just submitted. But I didn't know that when I got to secondary school, that what they call mathematics and physics, and chemistry, everybody was saying it's difficult. So I just said, me that I couldn't even read something, and they are saying this one is difficult. So I tried my best. I was going to the classes sometimes, mathematics especially. I would listen, and I would understand everything while they are explaining. Because they always give you, when it's mathematics, they always come with a formula. So I will understand the whole formula as an example. Then they will give us other examples and other assignments and say, okay, if this is like this, just remember that example. Okay, now go and resolve this one. But what they didn't tell me, and what I didn't get, maybe they said it, but I didn't get it, is that you just, like a foolish person, repeat The same example they gave me, the same formula. I just go and repeat just with the new something they gave me. I never understood that for the next 4 years. Because I was thinking it's difficult. So my own thinking is, if you've given me one formula how to resolve that assignment, this assignment, I must come up with my own formula to resolve it. I don't know if you are getting me. Because you are the teacher, I couldn't believe that they will give me secret. They will give me the answer already. That formula, I didn't know that it is the answer for my own thing also. I thought just like he came up with a formula to resolve that his own assignment and he passed. It's the same way now he's giving me my own assignment. I must also now understand how he came across his formula and also develop a formula to resolve. If there are 10 one, there must be 10 different formulas that I must get to resolve all of them. That was how I became a mathematical wreck. So one day after my sister came to me and said, if you don't pass this exam, you are going to remain in this village. I said, Otio, please, I went to meet one of those geniuses. They call them brilliant. And my own interpretation is that they are the ones that are born as genius. I said, please explain this. Because before I was not going to meet them because they were in the class of their own. They were always struggling to have the first, second, third, first, second, third, first, second, third among themselves. There are about 5 there. They are always struggling. First, second, third, first, second, third. You know, in Africa anyway, in Nigeria, they always have those people like that in the class. They are always competing among themselves. But the rest of the rest of us are just like audience, just looking at like football fans. Just from the distance, we are looking at them. Which one will get it this time? Will he beat him? Will he beat her? Will that one beat her? We are doing calculations. I guess that when the result comes, I guess that he was going to win. And you guess that he was going to win. I think we are not participants in the same class. That was my lifestyle. Oh, ooh. Because as far as I was concerned, I was done. I belonged in another category. And they were the genius. They were born genius. So one of these guys, Bumi Banjo, they call him. This Bumi Banjo, because they were also a little bit proud, all those guys. No, that's the way they look in our own eyes. So I think you cannot just approach them anyhow because they will say they are busy, you are disturbing them. So, so you have to behave. They were always busy, when some of us are just playing about. So I just came, since my sister had said I would remain in that village. Me, I didn't want to remain in that village. I said, please tell me sure about this mathematics. So when he sat down with me for 2 days, and each assignment he was taking me through, he was just copying the same formula that was given already in the book. I said, what about the answer? He said, I said, where is your own formula? Where are you coming up with it? You are just using the something. It's not. Are you not cheating? He said, no, the same thing, you just copy. I said, La Kuli. La Kuli. I don't know where I got that word from, but it's coming from that Idomila somewhere there. I don't know what it means. Have you ever heard the word before? I never even remember where it's come from. And what does it mean? Is it a Yoruba word or no? Huh? Islamic word? Is French or Hausa word? Arabic? You've heard it before? But in my village, it got there somehow. I don't know how it got there. They will say, La Kuli. like saying, Mama Mia. So I said, my God. Wow. So, why do you people say it's difficult? Why are you always saying mathematics is difficult? How can they give me formula already? Answer already, just to go and be repeating? I said, I don't need you again. I got my independence from him immediately. I began to do mathematics for fun. My only regret was that it was just like 1 year before finishing. but I still managed to pass it. But if all the one that passed, I didn't even remember anything. But I began to do well. I said, why are they saying all of them should go to science? Because all those people, they are saying you are the brilliant one, go to science. You are the brilliant one, go to science. You are the brilliant one, go to science. I said, for me, it was even the easiest. It's easier than having to think. That's what I wanted challenge. For me, it was too easy. I wanted challenge. Maybe it's creativity. Now, what do I want? I want to look at something like this, for example, and be able to come up with the answers, with the points. Okay, let me just give you, what I want is that I give you how thinking like a genius can help resolve African problem. Go and give me answer. That's what I like. Think it through. Then I know that you have produced. It is your own work. But to just repeat the test that I've given you, for me, that is not a challenge. That is the way my mind worked. But I didn't know that because the teachers don't customize, they don't find out how every student learns. They just assume that you will just cram it, and I don't like to just cram. I want to think it through. I want to produce. I want to create it. So that's why I developed this topic, that we shouldn't just make Africans to be robots like this. We must teach our people to think like a genius. I've suffered from the stigma. They're always beating me in the head that I was not a genius. I was not brilliant. These ones are brilliant. You are not brilliant. But if after that, my encounter with that boy, and after my encounter with my sister, I began to study. I discovered that everybody is a genius. Because all my years in school, I was clapping to these people that they were genius. Do you know when we did WAEC, I did better than most of them. Only one guy got one little result more than me. And I just started studying just 1 year before. But even the guy that got one credit better than me, he remained in Nigeria and he's still working as a school teacher today because he had to go and resit. He didn't pass all his marks on the high level, but I did, and I got scholarship. They are still there in Nigeria today. I was the only one who broke through. Then when I went to do JAM, everybody is always afraid of JAM. JAM is university exam. But I got 354, the third best result in University of Ife, but I couldn't even go. No money to pay. But all of them, they wanted to read medicine law, they couldn't even get that mark. Me, I wanted to do my own theater, and I got it. I said, So what I'm saying is that everybody, I was the one that was dull. Then I was beating all of them, all over Nigeria too. Then we went to sit for exam to get scholarship. Out of 300,000 Nigerians that sat, only 300 got it. And I was one of them. So I was saying, wow, this dull guy, they are saying dull, you are dullard. Only you need to get the approach right. You need to be taught right. You need to be informed right. Everybody is a genius. So do you now understand where I'm coming from when I say how thinking like a genius can help Africa? If we could teach all our people that nobody is dull, nobody is genius. That all of them could be genius. There are just some principles that all of us might know. If you follow these principles, you could also discover your own genius. Can you imagine? I would have been buried in that village thinking I'm a dullard all my life. If not my sister who came to just help me, to just give me a talk, I would have been thinking that I was not born to be brilliant. And I would have been thinking that mathematics is difficult. If I had not talked to that guy. Because we don't have approach in our place. It is only when I was 40-something years old that I discovered that there are people who learn with different methods. They could have found out the method that is suitable for different students, and they could have taught that through that method. But they just come to the conclusion that you are a dullard. That's all. Please go and share this message, because we are going to share this teaching. We are going to do this teaching now, and I think it's going to be able to help a lot of people back, not just in Africa, but all over the world. So, are you ready to start? Yeah. Okay, here we go. I hope Chris is still alive. You don't feel like sleeping yet? Okay. The Lord is your strength. Let's start.
How thinking like a genius can help resolve Africa's problems?
Do you people think thinking like a genius can help resolve Africa's problems? Anyway, when we go through it, you will know.
There are many ways to classify a genius, but if you look at the historical figures whom most people would consider geniuses, such as Albert.
Exclusion. No. Uje Peregarila. Sorry, we will change the battery of the what? Of the microphone. And see the paradox of life, eh? Me that they said I was dollared. I'm now teaching the world. Can you imagine how many people in villages all over Nigeria like that, like me?
That's true.
They have condemned them. They have withdrawn them from school and everything. One boy, he was my classmate, he was even better than me. The father just withdrew him and threw him to go and land trade. And he was better than me. All of them that school are better than me. They are all villagers doing some foolish things over there, carrying load and shoes. Everybody can be a genius. Okay.
Yeah. How thinking like a genius can help resolve Africa's problems. There are many ways to classify a genius, but if you look at the historical figures whom most people would consider geniuses, such as Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, and Beethoven.
Leonardo
da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci and Beethoven, you can see one thing they all share in common.
Beethoven.
Mm-hmm. You can see one thing they all share in common.
Okay.
They were all able to think in a new way from the mainstream and thus made connections that no one else did. Think otherwise. You don't help people by thinking like they think.
Think differently. That was my problem. Why were they hitting me in the head? Because I was not repeating house, papa, and doing those things. Because I was thinking differently. But if you want to raise and discover geniuses, celebrate those your children. Celebrate those people who think different. Do you know that people like Albert Einstein, they also sent him away from school?
Yeah.
They said he was too dull because he couldn't also read. He was like me. He was always seeing things the opposite, different. Edison also, he was also sent away from school because he also couldn't figure out and follow the common rule. So if we, all of us, want to develop geniuses all around us and in Africa, we must discover the uniqueness of method of studying for every child. We must be patient to give room for people to think, to discover their own way of thinking and their own way of learning. I don't know if any one of you know Professor Chris Imafidon. That is his method. That is his main secret. He says, give me any child. Yeah. I will make him pass and do excellently in the exams. Even more beyond anybody that is okay. And the secret is that he will find out the best method of learning that particular person has. So this is what they couldn't do for me when I was in school. So I must now reveal it to the world, share it with the world, so that people will know that geniuses see things differently. In fact, they are the ones you are supposed to celebrate. They are the ones you are supposed to be happy about. They are the ones you are supposed to, pay more attention to. Those people who don't follow the rules like every other person. And you know what? If you want to know the secret of Pastor Sunday Adelaja today, it is still that thing. I see things differently from everybody else. When I read the Bible, when I finish preaching the Bible, people always say, are you sure you are reading the same Bible as we are reading? I always see what other people don't see. I always think different. And that has become my greatest, the thing they used to beat me for. As I didn't know it was my strength. My desire to use my own head instead of just cramming the formula, that is elementary. It's now my greatest strength. You will come across people like that. That's why I wrote this book. Please show me the book. The Law of Difference. If you want to discover geniuses in your family, in your own children, and everywhere, read this book. Learn to see difference in everybody. And anybody who is working with me, I give them freedom to do things their own way. I give them the formulas, I give them the instruction, but create, come up with your own way. Do your own research. The law of difference. The law of difference. That is the main important key to discovering geniuses. Geniuses are not born. Geniuses are created. The law of difference. The most important principle that makes all these people different. That's what made all these people different. All these geniuses is because they see things in their own way. Because that's how God created us, to be different, to be unique. Our eyes, they are different. Nobody has the same pair of eyes like you in the whole wide world. No, not one person. The imprint of your eyes, they are different from the eye of no other one human being has it. So you must see things and interpret the world different. You can learn from others, but you will have your own conclusion. Our fingerprints, that's why God made everybody to be different and unique. So those ones who are able to embrace their uniqueness like that and difference, they are the ones who normally will become geniuses. Please. Yes. You don't wake up.
Yeah, doctor. when you said geniuses were
Geniuses.
yeah, geniuses were not born but created.
Yeah.
And that took my mind back to Jeremiah when God told his when God told his prophet, he said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you and I ordained you as a prophet to the nations. So I was trying to meditate, but God has already finished this product right in the womb. So how can you, I want you to enlighten me with the with that statement.
That they are not born.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I used to think. That those guys who are they call brilliant, that they were geniuses from their mother's womb. But in that particular scripture that you read out now, what that means is that everybody is a finished product. Everybody. You too. All of us, God knew us before we were in our mother's womb. That's why he created us. Then while we were still in our mother's womb, he gave everybody his own specific calling. What that particular scripture is just saying is that every one of us were packaged, fully packaged by God to become full-blown what he has ordained us to become. So everybody therefore is packaged to be a genius. But what I'm now talking about is discovering that that embracing that your own uniqueness is the first step in manifesting and releasing that ingenuity that God has put in you. So you know that thing didn't just happen to some people. The one that he put them in this is for everybody. So please, let's continue.
They were all able to think in a way from the mainstream.
In a way different.
Okay. They were all able to think in a way different from the mainstream,
Yeah.
and thus made connections that no one else did.
You see, it's a key. The law of difference. Please, if you want to read one of my books, you know, people who have read this book, they all told me they want to be rereading it at least once a year. Yeah. Some people told me they want to be rereading that book, The Law of Difference, at least every 3 months. Some people said, in fact, they sleep with it. Some people say they used to sleep on their Bible like that before their head. But now it is the book they are using to sleep. Because they want to wake up and read something, at least one line. So that book is very important. Because if you can embrace your difference and learn to see difference in things, your ingenuity will just explode.
Everybody is a genius.
This is Albert Einstein talking. Let's hear what he says. Albert Einstein himself. He said, everybody is a genius. The same thing that I'm saying now.
Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Albert Einstein.
See, it's the difference. Because the difference of the fish is that it belongs in the ocean, not climbing the tree. You must just know the difference. Why is it that I cannot climb the tree? Because it's different from the rabbit. It is the rabbit that will climb the tree. But the rabbit also will die in the ocean. Because it's different from the fish. Just find the difference. The law of difference. Find your own difference. Find the difference of every other person and put them in their own environment. And encourage them to produce, to thrive in their own place of difference. That is what it means to think like a genius. That's the first step in thinking like a genius. Please, I wish that somebody who is listening to me today will embrace this. Someone who is listening to me today will carry this as a campaign. We need to do a campaign of this to Africa, that somebody will start an NGO, a movement of causing the whole of Africa to think like a genius and teach these principles to parents, to teachers in universities, that the key to ingenuity, and ingenuity means creativity, ingenuity means productivity, ingenuity means production, ingenuity means products and services, that the key to ingenuity is the law of difference, is to see people's difference and to encourage them, not to force, because what they were doing for me is that I was a fish, they were forcing me to climb the tree. I was a rabbit, they were forcing me to go and swim in the ocean.
"11 ways you can think like a genius."
So let's find out the 11 ways to teach Africa and help Africa to think like a genius.
Number 1, love learning.
Let's teach our people to just love it. Love to learn. You don't need to learn the way I learn. No. You don't need to use the method that I use. But love learning your own way. You know, some people that don't like to read. Let them hear, let them see. Let them work with their hand. Let them learn through observation. Just teach people to learn. In any form, they want to learn. But let them just fall in love with learning. Maybe learning through practice. Maybe learning through playing. Maybe learning through games. But teach them to learn. To discover new things. To study. they will discover their genius without even you knowing it. Yeah.
Number 1, love learning. Geniuses are passionate about the things they do. If you want to think like a genius, find what you love and dive in headfirst.
Yes. That's number 1. In that same point, help children especially to discover what they love. Help people around you discover what they love, what they are passionate about, and put the fire under them. Like that boy though that did electricity and the radio station. Can you imagine if nobody had discovered him? Americans like doing those things. They discovered him and took him to MIT immediately. Can you imagine how many people have some potential like that all around us? If we will put fire under them, help them to just do what they like, not what we like. Because in our own area, they will say, you must read medicine. You must read this. You must do this. But if it is what they like, that is where they will discover their genius, the ingenuity. Or does anybody want to speak about this point? That we should discover geniuses by helping discover their passion. And teach them to love that passion. To develop that passion. To embrace that their passion. And to grow in it. Let's teach Africa to discover, let's change Africa by teaching them to think like geniuses.
No, I just wanted to buttress what you said concerning that book, because there was a guy I met that was in, I think, 2003, that has never been to the university. I think he finished secondary school, but because of poverty and all that, he couldn't. But I met him, and he was telling me things that even professors could not understand.
Wow.
He was developing a jet engine, a turbine jet engine, and he was coming up with a new concept for the first time that even Americans have not discovered. When he was talking, people thought he was mad, but I just kind of befriended him, and he took me to his workshop and showed me the prototype of the engine. I was asking, how did you do this? He said all he did was he just got books about about jet engine and all that. He started reading it, and before you knew it, he built it, and he called it
Doesn't matter what he calls. He can call him my name.
Because the name, he said the jet engine he built.
So where is he now?
That's what I'm saying. He went to different the state government. He went to nobody.
Is he a Nigerian?
A Nigerian.
And is he in Nigeria now?
No, I lost contact with him when I left Lagos.
Bring him. I will find finances for him.
So he went to state government.
I will even bring him on my program on Sundays, Innovation Hour.
Yeah. So he went. I'll try and see if I can link up with him again. He went to the Nigerian state government and all that. Nobody paid attention. But somebody now linked him. The last ahead of him, somebody linked him up to a guy in Bristol, a white man. And the white man came all the way with him to see the prototype. And took him.
You see? This is the culture we must embrace. Yeah. This culture. So all of you can help. So I want to challenge those who are listening to me today, that maybe through this teaching, some of you will become specialists in discovering geniuses. Let us all become specialists in not just specialists. That's what I do. Do you know that I give everybody a platform? Yeah. I'm always looking for the strength of different people and giving them platforms. Let's all become like that. This is how we discover geniuses. So that is the first point.
Yeah. Number 2, start ambitious projects and see them through from start to finish.
One of the problems why people don't become geniuses is that they are afraid of ambitious projects. They are afraid of big projects, of dreaming big. Well, you must help people, and we must help all our people to dream big, to be ambitious. Teach every child to be ambitious. Teach everybody to be ambitious, to dream big. But in our culture, when we are growing up, they will say, oh, be humble or be modest. Be modest. Stop. Shut up.
They say don't bite what you cannot chew.
Yes, cut your coat
Cut your coat according to your
size.
Kind of stuff.
But you have to teach them rather to be ambitious. So if you want to discover geniuses around you, in yourself and around you, let people go wild in their thinking, in their dreams, and in their ambitions. Let them go wild, maximum thinking. Don't condition them to be humble all the time. God knows how to make them humble. You teach them to go maximum. Maximum dream. Maximum ambition. Maximum aspiration.
Genius ideas have often occurred in the pursuit of something that many contemporaries thought to be downright crazy.
Yes, if anybody is, see the way they came up with that watermelon, for example, that's not the way normally people do it, though. You see? It's like the tap. It's coming like a tap now outside. Normally, when geniuses are people who dream of crazy things.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff that nobody understands or nobody embraces. Those crazy ideas, crazy stuff, that is a sign of a genius. And they have to be encouraged. Encourage people to come up with that crazy ideas, to embrace them and to go for them. Wonderful watermelon. Eh?
Yeah. Create opportunities for yourself to discover new things by embarking on journeys on which no one has yet embarked.
Yes. Huh? No, that's not it. Go your own way. Law of difference. Chart your own path. Don't be afraid. And encourage people around you not to be afraid of dreaming big. Going away from the norms. Number three, embrace change, uncertainty, and doubt. It is on the edges of knowledge that innovation and discovery happen. Yes. Sometimes we think we must all be stable at all times. But for innovators and for inventors, they need to doubt. They need to always embrace new ideas because they always need to be trying new things, new ways. They do things this way yesterday, they want to change it tomorrow. They won't do it tomorrow like this, they want to change it another day. They do it like this today, they want to change. It is a normal process. Don't be beating them. And at home, they beat them and say, well, you are not stable. You are not stable. Why did you just said this yesterday? You are doing this tomorrow. For inventors, it is rather part of the freedom they must have to change, to improvise. So let them. You have to teach people, in the process of creating things, to embrace change. You have to be freedom. You have to be free to change, to experiment, to be flexible in incorporating new ideas and new thoughts. Somebody said about the Embassy of God, if you come to Embassy of God last month, you don't know it again by the next month you come. Every month, even every week is a new church. Embrace change, be flexible. Even uncertainty and doubt you need to embrace, because it is at the edge of those changes and uncertainties that productivity and innovation happens.
Don't be afraid to question conventional wisdom. Because geniuses are often the ones who rewrite current conventions.
You don't see that bicycle?
Wonderful.
You don't see that bicycle? Is that like a conventional wisdom? Don't be afraid to question conventional wisdom. That is questioning. Questioning. Genius are people who question things. Who question, like for example, when they were telling me that that thing is a house, I was saying, how can? That is what makes my teachers always angry. They question everything. They question the norm, the conventional wisdom. And that is their key to rewriting current, events. Vevine le tako velocipede. Ne? Disability.
Treadmill on the bike. Exercising and moving.
Question conventional wisdom.
Number 4, be prolific. Try for quantity before quality.
Yes, don't be afraid. Quantity. Don't always believe to do the best immediately. Make mistakes. Try again. Encourage people to make mistakes and try again. One day, quality will turn to quantity. Quantity will turn to quality. Quantity will turn. Quantity, a lot of experiences, our experiments will turn. That's why people go to laboratories. What do they do in laboratories? Experiments. That is quantity. Before one quality product will come out.
To produce exceptionally good work, do a lot of whatever you're doing. It increases your chances for success, and it means you will get more practice along the way.
So don't think that geniuses are born. That someone is born a genius and you are born a dollar. No. All of us are geniuses. See, there are steps. These are things that have been studied in everybody, that if these things will be embraced, everybody can become a genius. For me personally, my own definition of genius is that geniuses are not born. Geniuses are made through hard work. Hard work. But you must know, what area do you work in? Work hard in what? In these things that we are talking now. In these 11 points.
It also takes the pressure off, knowing that while an effort may be your first, it will likely not be your last. More practice, less stress.
Yes. Like the English people say, practice makes perfect.
Most geniuses in history, whatever they were doing, did a lot of many things, and not all of it was genius.
Yes. But one of them will come out great. Or two will come out great. But they keep on trying.
It's a funny thing. The more I practice, the luckier I get. Arnold Palmer.
Of course, the more you work hard, the more luckier you become. The more you practice. When you work 18 hours a day, of course, you become lucky.
Master theory. To become a master in any subject, you need 10,000 hours of practice. Professional orchestra players and computer programmers demonstrate this idea.
You know that Malcolm Gladwell experiment, right?
The law of 10,000.
The laws of 10,000. If you can devote 10,000 hours to anything, you become a master in it.
The 10,000 hours rule says that if you look at any kind of cognitively complex field, from playing chess to being a neurosurgeon, we see this incredibly consistent pattern that you cannot be good at that unless you practice for 10,000 hours, which is roughly 10 years, if you think about 4 hours a day. Malcolm Gladwell.
If you practice anything for like 10 hours, 4 hours a day, in 10 years' time only, you'll become an expert in it. But if you are doing it 6 hours a day, it will be in 6 years' time. If you are doing it 8 hours a day, it will become in 5 years' time. Or 4 years' time. 10 hours, 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours to master your craft. 10,000 better get started. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 44 weeks a year, for 5.5 years.
So if you are practicing your craft for 8 hours a day, it will only take you 5 years, 5.5 years to become a master in it.
Learn about Bloom's taxonomy.
Bloom's taxonomy.
Learn about Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy is a breakdown of the 6 levels of thinking, from the lowest level to the highest. You can use it to help you think about thinking on a deeper level. Bloom's taxonomy. Creating using
Just get the main ones first, the 6.
Creating, evaluating, analyzing, applying, understanding, and remembering.
Again.
Creating, evaluating, analyzing, applying, understanding, and remembering.
So these 6 steps of Bloom's taxonomy are what you could apply to make geniuses in any field. Anything they do. Those are 6 basic building blocks to make somebody become a genius in any field. So become a genius, you've got to learn to create. Create something. Work on your creativity. You have to learn, repeat it, practice it. Practice creating something. Number 2, to become a genius, always evaluate, think, always evaluate. Don't just take things for face value. Always divide them, evaluate them, think about them from different angles. Critical thinking, asking questions. After you do that, then start the stage of analysis. Begin to analyze. Do detailed analysis of everything you come across. Then try to apply those things that you have discovered. What you have learned, apply them. Apply the laws, the rules, the principles. For example, I'm teaching you right now. Go back home. Go back through the notes that you have taken all over again. Do a solitude. Listen to each class again. Sit down. Evaluate the teachings. Analyze them. Then try to apply them. Find a way you could apply each principle you have learned. Let it become your understanding. Then remember how you have done it and to be able to do it again. Okay, you can now read again.
Creating, evaluating, analyzing, applying, understanding, and remembering. Creating, use information to create something new.
No, start from the lower.
Okay, from remembering.
Yes.
Okay. Remembering, find or remember information, list, find, name.
No, whenever you are working with any information, the first step is to look for information. Find information. That is the beginning of innovation, right? So go and study, go and do research. So how do you do research? How do you go and look for, you remember, you go through a process, remember that process of information that you have gotten, find the list of the information or books you want to read, the names, the identity, the location, description, memorize, define, do research and put them down, record them, record your research. Then from there, go to understanding. What is understanding? Making sense of all the information you have gathered. Like for example, watch this week, you have only gotten information now. I've done the first something for you. So you have, located information, you have gathered many things. But now you need to go back home and try to understand every subject. And understanding means making sense of the information, interpret, summarize, explain, infer, paraphrase, discuss, for it to be part and parcel of you. Because the fact that you are hearing these teachings from me doesn't mean that it is your own, It is my own information. You have the information, but until you sit down, find time to analyze and work with each topic, it's as good as you have not been here. You need to be able to go through the understanding stage. Then it is after the understanding stage, you go to applying. You use information in a new application, means use that information in your own way. All the things you have learned from me, go and use them and apply them in your own way or in a similar way, in different situation. Use them in a different environment, in a different location, in the way that it applies to you. Try to apply them. Try to practice them. So after that, go into evaluation. That is critically examining everything, what you have learned. Make judgment, test, critique, defend, criticize. Do further analysis. Take the information apart. Explore relationship. Practice them through relationships, through categories, groups, exams. Compare, contrast, organize. And then create something from it. Create means use information to create something new. Design, build, construct, plan, produce, devise, invent. Create something. So that is the Bloom's taxonomy.
Knowledge. Knowledge is accepting and believing a fact. Knowing 2 plus 2 equal 4 doesn't mean you know what 2 plus 2 equal 4 means.
You understand? Or you don't? Can you explain very clear? What is clear? Give to Shioma. Let her explain to us what is clear.
Okay, I'll use the experience with my child, because I have someone who trains them. Now, the child sometimes tends to struggle with some calculations, but the teacher would insist that the child should know. So what this means, if I relate it to that experience, is yes, we know that 2 plus 2 equals 4. But how? How did we arrive at 4? We may know that the answer is 4, but do we know why 2 plus 2 makes 4?
Beautiful.
Do we understand
knowing
how?
The what
Yes.
is nothing. It is knowing the how that matters. For example, all the Nigerians that I've met here in Ukraine here, most of them, until I met them, my own assessment of them is that they are not educated. Because they know their subject, they are studying medicine, engineering or something, they are passing exams, but for me it's like they don't know life. They don't know life. They don't know how to apply those same principles in life. For example, you could know that 2 plus 2 is 4 in exams and write and class exam. But when you go to the market, you cannot apply 2 plus 2 is 4. Yeah. Any knowledge that you are getting in the classroom or any knowledge in your head that you cannot physically apply everyday life, you don't know it. It doesn't belong to you. Yeah. It is cram and what do you call it? Cram and pass. So what matters is not the result, the end result, like we discussed today, but the procedure, the process, knowing the process, not the answer. This one is knowing the answer instead of the questioning that will expose you to processes. So knowledge is knowing the result, whereas wisdom is knowing how you arrive at that result. Okay?
Application. Application is knowing how to use the fact.
Say how to apply. That is conversion. Apply. How to use the fact. The fact, is just information. But how to use it, that is what matters. Yes, go ahead.
Application is knowing how to use the fact. You can determine that 2 cats plus 2 cats equals 4 cats. You don't know what 2 plus 2 equals 4 means, but you can apply it. Comprehension. Comprehension is understanding a fact. You understand the concept of addition and how 2 plus 2 equal 4.
How? That means now you have comprehended it. This is what I wanted to always know when I was in primary school, secondary school. But they were always beating me. No, it's 4, sure, finish. Just go and write it down. But I want to know how. But they were not interested in letting me know how. They just wanted me to cram it.
Analysis. Analysis is breaking down information.
And when I went to discover that mathematics was easy, that I am not interested in the fact that formula is given to me. I just go and copy the formula and repeat and do the same something. I want to know how they came across that formula. That is what intrigues me. That's what challenges me. But they just want to just go and do and the teachers are happy. They are the geniuses. They are the ones who are smart because they just repeat what they are giving them. But to me, that is not exciting. What is exciting is it's a human being that came across that thing now. So how did he come across it? I want to also come across it. Okay.
Analysis is breaking down information into its parts. 4 minus 2 equal 2. In bracket 1 plus 1 plus in bracket 1 plus 1 equal 2 plus 2, which equals 4.
You see? And that is the thing I was trying to correct you the first day you were answering something. That I'm not interested in the answer. I want to see the conclusion. I want to see the logical structure. So 2 plus 2 now here makes better meaning than just 2 plus 2 here. Yeah. Just knowing the answer is nothing. But knowing how you come across and you reach that conclusion, that is what the beauty is.
Synthesis. Synthesis is creating something new. In bracket 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 in bracket again equals 4 plus 4.
You see? So from what you have learned in discovering how you come across 4 through 2 plus 2, now create another formula. That is how geniuses work. They take what is existing already, and from that thing that is existing, they break it down, understand how it works, and create a new product. That is what we should be learning in Africa. Not just buying a car, but break down the car, learn how it was built, and build your own.
Build your own.
Not just flying planes, but buy the plane, break it down, know how it's composed, and form your own. Submarines. My own dream is that before I die, Nigeria will begin to build their planes and submarines. I'm not interested that we are buying. A whole president went to America to talk Trump, and then they're giving press conference. We have agreed that, thank God, Trump has agreed to sell 2 helicopters. Shame. Shameful people. And the whole country is reporting. We are going to buy 2 planes from America. Rubbish. You are not even thinking of creating those planes. If you want to rejoice about anything, you should be rejoicing that you have long created your own. So that is what Africa is functioning. Africa is functioning by this principle. Knowing that 2 plus 2 is 4. That is the answer we are given. But not by analysis. And not by synthesis. And this is why we must take this subject of thinking, teaching Africa to think like a genius, and go and reprogram our whole educational system. Why are people looking for job? Why are my books there? Look for my book. Why you should stop looking for job, or why looking for job shouldn't be show the things. That's why I wrote these books. We shouldn't be looking for jobs. Nobody should be looking for job after you finish school. If they have really taught you what synthesis means and what analysis is, nobody should be looking for job after school. That's why I wrote that book. I wrote those books. There are 2 books. Stop looking for job, and why looking for job is give me one. Yes. And then the other one. You have it over there in the computer. See, why losing your job is the best thing that could happen to you. Because that is the beginning of your life. That's why I wrote this book. Don't be busy looking for a job. And another one I just wrote down is stop looking for a job. Joblessness is a blessing. See, this is the second one. Stop looking for a job. Joblessness is a blessing. These are things which can you imagine that in Africa, everybody is blaming government. Saying, oh, we finished, we are graduates, we are not taxi drivers. Now your problem now. Because they didn't teach you to reason and question and use your head. You have the book somewhere. Anyway, this is it. Jobless, stop looking for a job. It's not, and then why losing your job is the best thing that could happen to you. Huh?
No, I was just thinking as you're talking that if all the money that our pastors has invested into buying private jets, if they had used that money to set up a research center for believers in their church to discover how a plane is built, by now the church
would have been
be producing the jets.
You see, that's why I'm just laughing when they are saying I'm coming to Nigeria to build churches. I'm not interested. I am being greater things in my mind. I want to have research centers. I want to have, you don't even know what I'm having. Let me scare anybody out. What I'm planning for Africa. I'm planning serious stuff, not to be building a church. I've already done that when I was 27 years old. At 33, I already built the biggest church in Europe. Why should I now be at 50 beginning to go to that stage again? I want to build a nation. Building a church is no more a challenge to me.
Evaluation discussion of the merits of 2 + 2, which equals 4.
Tomorrow, I'm going to teach you something. Tomorrow, make you sleep well. Make sure you sleep well. Because tomorrow morning, I'm going to teach you how to change Africa through scientific method. And for that scientific method, you need to be alive. You need to wake up. If you don't sleep well, make you go drink coffee in the morning. Because you need your brain to be alive.
Number 6, think differently.
Yeah, I've spoken about it a little bit in the beginning. This is how we raise geniuses.
You are different. You think differently.
Please, make you go share this thing. If you don't go share this message, let everybody go and share with your friends, with your family members, in the inboxes, in the timelines, in the groups.
The biggest challenge in life is to be yourself.
Challenge.
The biggest challenge.
Challenge is Nigerian. Challenge.
Is a challenge.
Yes.
Challenge.
Challenge. And not success. Success.
Success.
Yes.
Okay.
Challenge.
Challenge.
Yes. Challenge. Success. Yes. Not success. Now you they say success.
Success.
Success. Success. Yes.
Challenge.
Challenge. Now you they talk. Okay.
The The biggest challenge in life is to be yourself in a world that is trying to make you like everyone else.
Law of difference. Where is that law of difference book again? Yes. Law of difference. Law of difference. One of the greatest one of the greatest laws of a genius. One of the greatest secrets of raising up a genius. The law of difference. And then the greatest secret, my greatest discovery in life. This one, everybody must have it. The greatest secret. Okay?
Every kind of genius is different and individual. Every kind of opinion has something true and something you can learn from.
You see, that's why we must not just tell people only read the Bible alone. Or only read Christian books. No, we can learn from everything from everywhere.
Remember that different ideas have not historically been accepted well, and yours may not be either. Geniuses throughout history have not let this deter them, neither should you.
Yep.
Remember, you are different than anyone else for a reason, a good reason. Find that reason and run with it.
The law of difference.
Jardine.
The law of difference.
Then he who sat on the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said to me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. Revelation 21:5.
Yep. God always wants to make new things. And if God is making new things, he said, I make everything new. That should be our aspiration. If God is making everything new all the time, that is innovation. That is invention. Behold, I make everything new. So why are you not doing the same thing? You are not being like your Father in heaven. Everybody is an inventor. Everybody is an innovator.
Recommended books for this topic: The Creative and Innovative Power of a Genius.
Let's see that book, The Creative and Innovative Power of a Genius, and Steve Jobs, Raising Up the Next Generation of Steve Jobs. And Raising Up the Next Generation of Steve Jobs, and The Creative and Innovative Power of a Genius. Push the seat backward now. It's too tight for you. Not that. Don't touch the thing. See it. Give the next book. The Creative and Innovative Power of a Genius. So this book is a compulsory, it's a must for you if you want to discover your ingenuity. And then there is another one like that, Raising Up the Next Generation of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. Raising Up the Next Generation of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. It's another one that you people must all, if you want to, especially those people who want to discover and develop this subject, if you want to encourage people to and help to bring me the book now. If you want to help people to discover this subject and you want to use how to change Africa through, thinking like a genius, these books are compulsory for you. Raising the Next Generation of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, The Creative Power of a Genius, The Law of Difference, Life's Greatest Secret, and then, that's it. So, спасибо. Дайте мне управление. That's enough, Babusha, not it. So who wants to comment on this topic? How thinking like a genius can help resolve Africa's problems? If we would teach this and start a movement, not wait for government, just start 100 or 1,000 NGOs, movements, and begin to teach every school, every university, every primary school this topic. What do you people think this could lead to in Africa? Could it help resolve our problems? Anybody wants to talk?
So, yeah.
If nobody will talk, I'm going to ask all of you to start
No,
again.
what I was just
Yeah.
while you were teaching, what was just going through my mind was the amount I know that corporation pay for their employees to get information less than what we are getting now is, I mean, they pay thousands of pounds to send their executive on training.
To learn these things you're learning now.
Yeah, to
or
learn
less.
these things. And it is less. I mean, it is less because most of the things you go there most of the things you go there to learn sometimes are like management skill, people skill, time skill, and all that stuff. But where will you go to learn things like this?
So you have somebody has to have love for people. You have to have burden. I have burden for Africa. So I'm going to give out the secret over there. If anybody wants, let them run with it.
Talking about to react to what he said about what corporations are doing. Your corporation, your establishment that you're working for is not interested in you. That training they are giving you
it's just for
is
you
to be more productive
for them.
on their job. Now, what I want to say concerning this topic is this teaching is something we actually need to, take as a challenge, because in Nigeria, where I come from, parents are, confusing the children to focus on what they have called the professional courses, like the medicine and the
Lawyer,
law, engineering, and there is
only
no
three
one,
professions.
no one
Nigeria.
talking about people going after that, their passion, helping people to discover, their area of their points of difference, as explained in the book Law of Difference. I actually read that book, even though I've been promoting the book. I just read it during this HMT, and really what I discovered in that book was really mind-blowing for me. And so I think this topic is really going to help Nigeria, where I come from, in development. Because if everyone will be helped to find their difference, and work on it and develop on it, I mean, we will be able to come out from where we are. We don't even need the government.
We'll find solutions for everything.
Solutions will be everywhere. And the most interesting thing is that in this time that we are living, there are opportunities.
Yeah, information is
there
everywhere.
There are grants all over, not even just information. There are grants. There are
scholarships.
Scholarships. There are funding bodies that are looking for people with ideas to support. So there is actually nothing stopping us.
But we must make this information available, because when I was growing up, I believed the teachers. I never knew that everybody is a genius. So even this information and even these steps and the secrets, we need to popularize and make it available to everybody. Any other person want to talk?
This information, I think, is a challenge, especially for African parents, because we tend to build up a child the way we want that child to be. We don't give that child the opportunity to express his own love or her own love, his passion for what he really likes to do. And by making that child to be what we want the child to be, we are misleading. And that child will end up in a profession that he will not be an expert, or maybe doing something that he doesn't really like it at all. He's not doing it with love. He's not doing it with passion. And in this case, you can't develop something that you don't love it. Yeah. So for me, we as parents have to start giving our children the chance to exploit what they love, or even just to see. Let them come out with their own thinking, with their own expression about what they not telling him that you have to learn this, you have to learn this. Yeah.
This teaching is very, very instructive and very relatable for me because I ended up studying a course that I didn't want to practice. So this teaching will empower every African to be able to be a problem solver, to identify something in their environment and how they can bring a solution to a problem. Because every one of us, it now means that geniuses are not born after all. Everyone can become a genius. And with that power of information, we can begin to create things. You know, everyone can begin to create their submarines, people can create their own electricity.
Set loose the whole of Nigeria, millions. Ideas will just begin to spring from everywhere.
So people can create their own electricity, can create water, can create everything that is needed because we have that innovative power within us.
Yeah, I just want to add that it's a common thing with we African parents to compare children. And when you start comparing a child with what you like in the other child, it's like you are pressing that child not to express what he wants. Then you just believe that, oh, I'm not better because mommy always said, why can't you do like that? Why can't you do like this one? So, yeah, I think that's something we need to avoid.
Yes, I think with the program that we just had, it's making certain things clearer for us. Most of what happens in Africa is learned behavior, which we know now that anything that is learned can also be unlearned. And this platform have given us that opportunity and information and ideas that will make this possible. It's introducing us to how we can use creative ideas that is actually in existence today because of the information age that we are in. And it will help us to tackle some of these problems. And secondly, we'll find out that most of the situations that made this possible we'll find out that most of the situations that made this possible for us is actually through the inspiration that we are receiving from this program. And okay, all right. So we are actually appreciative and looking forward to this opportunity being expounded, not only within this platform, but all over Africa, so that others will also come, become part and partner of the process.
It is you people who will take it to Africa.
Yes,
I come. You can go. I cannot go to Africa.
Definitely, that is the idea and that is the motivation for why most of us are here.
And those of us who are watching on TV, on Facebook and YouTube, please, think of what you will do and to go and use this knowledge to set people free in Africa.
I've been thinking, as I believe that each and every one of us sitting and those people watching us by live,
Facebook.
By Facebook here. I believe a whole lot of people that the ones that the thing is burning, they have this burning desire to change their world, to touch people. I believe while listening to Pastor's story, I've been thinking, what do I do? What project should I carry out? What movement? How do I go about it? A lot of questions have been going through my mind. Then from your story, you came from the village and today you are teaching the world. Most of us can still go to where you came from, such locations. There are a lot of them there. I believe a lot of genius, all these geniuses we're looking for, most of them are from there. We can go there and start. Those ones are even easy to teach. Some of this, when you go to these developed countries, a lot of children are already on internet. They've known a whole lot of things. They are going to argue with you. Some of them it might be difficult for you to even touch them and affect them. But go to this village and you are telling them that there is hope. You are not, contrary to what you've been told, that you are a dullard. Look at, you are not. You know, I saw a guy in South Africa. One man just dumped this guy in a dog house. When somebody brought us, someone asked us, is it a dog that is living here? I said, it's not a dog, it's a human being. And that guy is a dog is even better. He's not doing anything. I've been trying to talk to the young guy. My husband has been trying to talk to the young guy. The guy has finished the guy, you know. So the day I told him, don't you know that you're a handsome boy? He said, me handsome. And actually the guy is handsome. For the first time, maybe I'm the one telling him that. So when you go to the villages, go to these location, remote areas, and you tell them, do you know you can do this? Do you know you can do that? Maybe show them all these innovations, all these things, these Malawian guys and the one from Africa say, look at what this guy did, look at the place where this guy is coming from that did it. It's going to motivate them. It will make them, you will see the best in them. I believe it's going to be very easy. At least most of us can start from there, and you will see we'll start getting results rapidly. From there, the whole news will go around the world, and Africa will be touched.
Amen. Thank you so much. Vekatelis Kazada. Tolka popi spray, naše vreme už подходи к концу. Только дайте, потому что она на английском будет говорить, а вы говорите по-русски, да?
Я бы мотивировала людей думать не то, что...
This is a lady from our team, Russian team, yeah, so she will be sharing and Paul will interpret, translate.
Я бы мотивировала людей думать не просто как кто-то, но думать вообще как никто, как все люди вместе взятые не думают. Получать непосредственно от Бога. И не бояться вот смотреть в интернете информацию. Не находишь так, как ты думаешь, уже тебя Бог туда погрузил. Ничего в интернете не находишь. Но проходит время, и в интернете уже встречается, и Бог в конце концов подтверждает то, что Он тебе дал. Вообще ломать всякие границы стереотипов. Никакого стереотипного мышления. Вот, а где ты это читала? А кто так делает? А зачем мне это знать? Мне Бог так дал в сердце. И никто на свете так не делает, и все вместе так не делают. Ну, это большой мотив, а потом Бог через других людей тоже подтверждает. Проходит даже большое время, бывает многие годы даже.
So everybody needs to learn that you don't think like somebody, and you don't think like all the world combined together. All your thoughts should come exclusively from God. All your revelations should be, you should get your own specific revelations from God. And you shouldn't be scared to look for information in the internet. Sometimes the revelation that God gave you, you can't even find confirmation of it in the internet. But sooner or later, God will show you that what is from Him, and God doesn't change. And I've gotten many revelations from God, and they're not like anybody else's. They're not like what the world thinks. And people ask me, why should I do this? Especially because nobody else does it. But it's because nobody else does it that it's my duty to do it. So that's what everybody should be doing.
Very good.
Очень хорошо.